people that value human life, and Twitch socialists, welcome to a brand new video. Today's a big one. It's huge. A lot of people think it's the biggest of them. So as you know, on the How Effed is Hasan Piker franchise, we are currently tabulating exactly how effed Hasan Piker is in any given amount of time. He is currently all the way up to 350% effed. We're jumping up 20% on the eftometer for this one, because I don't think you're aware of the levels of effed he's at. So, over the last couple of days, I have been calculating and researching a specific topic immensely. Because, as you know, this guy is the biggest leftist political streamer on the internet, and he supports terrorist organizations. Now, you might think, we know all this. We know this. So, let's just say the Houthi terrorist is back. He also literally is arguing against the Palestinians in honor of the terrorists that are murdering Palestinians and Israelis and Americans. He also collabed with Elon Musk's child and did like this really weird daddy issues face-off, which was pretty hilarious. And he basically has this whole crying moment where he talks about how sad it is that Asmongold gets views, reacting to the downfall of Snow White. I know that's pretty lame and gay, but it's pretty lame and gay. Now, a lot of this has been covered by other people. However, no one, and I mean no one, went into the depths of depravity that this dude just did on his stream yesterday. So lock in, boys and girl. It's gonna be crazy. So we're starting off solid with this. All right, so this guy over here, you might recognize him. This is Luffy. This is Luffy. He's a terrorist. He's a Houthi terrorist. And Hasan reacted to the Houthi terrorist glazing himself. So, let's see this clip, guys. This probably isn't weird and violating the terms of service of Twitch. Nothing like glazing literal terrorists that America recently bombed.
ولكن نقول لأمريكا وإسرائيل ما قال هذا الشخص بسرو هذا طبعا.
My reaction when
the photo. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. This is a This is a Houthi terrorist. By the way, someone that, in his own words, is a soldier that hangs out with captives that they've kidnapped from merchant ships.
He's got the Zin canisters in the back. Oh my lord, dude. Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. Me when a terrorist is my best friend. Wow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus was not a friend of terrorists, by the way. I wouldn't bring him into this. He was a Jew, though, so we now know why Hasan is not a big fan.
The internet is
yeah. The internet's crazy. Look, it's Anne Frank over here hanging out with fucking this guy. You might not recognize him. This is Monkey D. Hoofy. This guy over here, this dude, the Houthi terrorist, this is just Hasan's boy. Hasan is friends with multiple terrorists. I'm going to show you his friend, the Hamas terrorist, in a minute, because he has a friend that he admits is his friend that actually is a Hamas sniper, like literally a terrorist murderer. It's pretty great shit. It's pretty good shit. This is the largest leftist streamer in the world. The only one actually calling him out for this is me. On the How Fucked is Hasan Piker franchise. But I have a really special one for you today. I had to jump up by 20% from what you're about to see. Lock in. You're not ready. I promise.
The internet is crazy. He's saying, we say to America and Israel what this person said.
Nothing as funny as saying, fuck you, we will kill all of you in America and Israel. Lamau! That's our boy. Hell yeah, dude. It is shocking to me, bro. It's shocking that this is like regular content. How is this person not ostracized from every community?
Oh, no.
One of the last ever pieces of footage of Monkey D. Houthi here in One Piece.
نبي هذا أكثر واحد وقف مع اليمن وفلسطين. هذا بينشر ويظهر الحقيقة. تحياتي لك يا حسن. Thank you. I love you so much.
Yeah, if a terrorist said thank you, I love you so much to me, I wouldn't take it as a huge compliment, you know, partially because, you know, they're a terrorist, terrorizing innocent people, you know, they're the Houthi terrorists. They use child soldiers and they bomb American ships. Personally, if this guy would say, thank you, I love you to me, I would be disgusted. It's kind of weird to see this reaction coming out of terrorist Glazer himself.
Oh, no.
So now you're probably thinking, what's he gonna say? He says, oh no. What is he thinking of? What is the problem here? Is it the fact that he's buddies with a terrorist? Or...
the
Get
internet,
ready.
man. The internet is crazy.
Yeah, why? What's so crazy about the internet? Why? What's going on?
Asmongold's gonna freak out more. I know.
Asmongold is gonna react to this. What? That's what he's thinking? He's getting glazed by a literal terrorist, and he's like, oh, Asmongold gonna react to this one. How brain dead are you? Oh my god! It's shocking to me that this dude's not actually just ostracized from every community. He gets away with it with his fake progressivism while literally supporting terrorists.
No. I worry about stuff like this because...
Oh, is it because you're platforming terrorists? Is that why you worry? Get ready, guys. That's not his answer.
I mean, yeah, of course people are gonna fucking yell at me and be like, dude, see, this guy is a terrorist. And
True. He knows. He literally knows. He knows he's a terrorist.
he is terrorizing us by showing a photo of you.
No, he's actually terrorizing people by bombing civilian ships, training and torturing child soldiers and kidnapping innocent civilians that were on a trade route from Turkey. No, where was it from? It was a Japanese ship that was from that was traveling to Turkey, that they kidnapped the crew, and he chilled with the crew that they kidnapped. That's why he's a terrorist. Not because he's offending people with pictures of Hasan. Although, to be fair, that is pretty offensive as well.
But no, what I worry about is like I don't think he realizes this. He said this is a foreigner who has done so much to support Palestine and Yemen. Hell yeah. I worry that
this is a foreigner who supports all sorts of terrorist organizations. What a goat. What a goat.
I worry that this kind of stuff like puts him in threat, you know?
What the fuck do you mean puts him in threat? He is a designated terrorist by the American government. The American government is currently bombing Houthi terrorists. That's why he's in threat. You think he's in threat because he made a tweet at Hasan Piker over here? What are you talking about? Oh man, I'm so afraid. You know what's actually going on in his head though? In his weird cloud goblin head? At some point, Luffy will no longer be in One Piece. And he's gonna be like, oh man, it's because he came on my stream. It made him a target.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, no one knows what you mean. No one knows what you mean that when the terrorist glazes you, suddenly they're now a threat and the world wants to take them down. Now, this is a terrorist that was glazing Hasan. You see, they have this weird glazing relationship where they glaze each other in a glorious 69 Ouroboros of fucking bullshit. Literally glazing each other constantly. Rent-free. Thinking about how Asmon would react is crazy. True, honestly, very true and valid. But anyway, it's not as crazy as what's going on right now in Gaza. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of an inside scoop of what's going on currently across the world, and I'm gonna show you Hasan's coverage of it, because currently in Gaza there are massive protests where Palestinians are protesting against Hamas. The people want to bring down Hamas. Right now, Gaza is witnessing the largest protest against Hamas since October 7th. For the third straight day, Palestinians are pouring into the streets across the Gaza Strip, openly defying the militant group, and that they blame for the devastating 17-month-long war with Israel, because it is their fault that there is a war going on right now with Israel. That is a fact. Now, this is what the Palestinians are saying. Right, the people want to bring down Hamas. Right, Hamas is the terrorist organization that jumped over the border into Israel, that murdered 1,200 innocent civilians, that still to this day has hostages. And these people are rioting against the terrorist organization that started literally the entire war. All right? So, I mean, to be fair, it is their fault. Israel said that if you release the hostages, we'd stop the war. They did not release the hostages. So, realistically, the people are coming out here and saying fuck you to Hamas.
Over the last week, we've seen an unprecedented explosion of protests against Hamas throughout the Gaza Strip. Beit Lahia and Jabalia in the north, Deir al-Balah and Nusayrat in central Gaza, and even Khan Yunis, a Hamas stronghold, and by the way, Yahya Sinwar's hometown.
Yeah, so these guys are finally, they're protesting against Hamas, the terrorists. They want Hamas to disappear because they bring so much pain and suffering to literally every single person in Gaza, and they are all protesting in basically every main city across Gaza. Get ready for Hasan to say the Palestinians are wrong and Hamas are the good guys. You're not going to be ready for this arc. I am telling you, you are not ready for what we are dealing with. Literally, lock in, boys.
These are the largest protests against Hamas in Gaza in history.
That's pretty crazy. The largest protests against Hamas in Gaza history. Holy shit, that's crazy.
Why is it happening now? Well, I think Gazans have had enough.
Masked fighters who supposedly defend me as a civilian. Instead, beat me, break me, and muzzle me. Because, they're terrorists.
17 months of war have made it painfully clear to them that Hamas dragged them into this war with no plan at all for
Yeah, because realistically, they had absolutely no chance. They had no chance. They went up against a much, much superior military. They had no possible chance because they're terrorists. They weren't trying to win some sort of war. They started a war that they knew they couldn't win, that they absolutely knew they would get hurt for in return. They kept hostages that they knew that Israel would fight to try to get back. And every single innocent Palestinian in Gaza will suffer because of the actions of a terrorist organizations. Now, this is obvious shit. You see, Hamas are bad guys. They're fucking terrorists. Now, again, I don't know. Hamas was elected in Gaza, obviously, back in 2006. So, again, this is a fucking awful situation. There is no happy, glorious solution where all the good guys are always gonna win, obviously. But realistically, they are protesting against Hamas right now. Like an unbelievable protest against Hamas. To the point that Palestinians are saying, free the Israeli hostages. End the war, no to Hamas.
جماهير حاشدة من بيت لاهي تخرج الآن ضد حكم حماس. ما يجري في قطاع غزة كارثة. يطالبون هنا الناس والمواطنين.
Right, that now at this, they've gotten to the point that they're even telling Hamas to release the Israeli hostages. Is it because they think that their lives are in danger? Is it because they truly believe this? Is it because they want to end the war? Ultimately, I'm sure it's a mix of a whole lot of things. However, this is undeniably what's happening, to the point that they're asking even crazier questions. They're saying, where is the press? Where are the journalists? Because all of the Al Jazeera journalists, like the pro-Hamas journalist people that have been covering this entire war, literally all of them are not even talking about the protests against Hamas. They're just yelling, where's the press? Where's the journalists? For some reason, all the pro-Hamas people aren't talking about the fact that people are protesting against Hamas. That's kind of crazy. They wave white flags and chant Hamas out. Where are the pro-Palestinian accounts sharing this? It's a fantastic question. Who knows? The wild thing is, the Palestinians have had enough of Hamas and they are shouting Hamas is terrorist. And the obvious irony here is that you have the anti-Western leftists, Hasan Piker. Hamas is a legitimate resistance movement against Zionist settler colonialism. The Palestinians in Gaza, Hamas is terrorist. Okay, now let's get together for a second. All right, let's get together. All right. The Palestinians in Gaza are saying Hamas is terrorist. All right. Who could possibly tell the innocent Palestinians, no, Hamas are the good guys? Look no further than our boy himself, Hamas.
And time
Piker.
again.
Here he is, the man that knows better than any Palestinian in Gaza. Facts. He will go out of his way to support terrorists even when the people the terrorists are allegedly fighting for are actually against them. I have a couple of good timestamps from his little teeny stream that he actually covered this shit, because obviously he didn't want to cover this in great length because, well, you know, kind of goes against his whole, you know, Hamas are the good guys vibe.
Now that there are protests in Gaza, which
All right.
primarily want the bloodshed
All right, what do they want?
to stop,
Agreed. That is primarily what they want. They probably want the war to end for sure.
with definitely anti-Hamas protesters in the protest.
Oh, so it's largely just protesting the war, but it's a minority of people protesting Hamas. That's how he frames this. Do we have to explain what level of retardation we're dealing with right here? What are they protesting for? You think that, let me get this straight. He thinks that Palestinians in Gaza are protesting against who? Against Israel? Like, why is that gonna do anything? These protests are completely against Hamas. Why else would they be protesting? Do you think this protest is for anything other than against the terrorists that brought them into this war? Without a doubt, that is literally the only thing that they're fighting for. You cannot sit here and say that, well, it's only a minority that's arguing about Hamas. The majority are protesting something. What are they protesting? Protesting against the missiles that are falling into their cities? Like, what do you want to say?
The media is going, well, there it is. The Palestinians have finally had enough of Hamas. That's who they care the most about.
What the fuck? How do you reframe this?
They don't care about the bombs. They
don't care about the bombs, he says. Of course they care about the bombs. That's why they're protesting against Hamas, the guys that got them into this entire fucking war. Like, how disingenuous do you have to be to see Palestinians saying, hey, we want Hamas out. It's their fault that this shit's happening. We need them cooked. And Hasan says, no. You're protesting against the wrong thing. You should be protesting against the bombs. Yes. Not again. What the fuck are you what is happening? Really? Nepo baby in his $3 million mansion in fucking Los Angeles? He needs to sit here on his high horse telling the Palestinians that they're actually protesting against the good guys, the terrorists?
are fine. It's Hamas that they care about. They think it's Hamas's fault that Israel's bombing them.
Well, why is Israel bombing them? Let's be real. Why is Israel bombing them? All right? It's because Hamas jumped into Israel, murdered 1,200 civilians, and kidnapped a bunch of civilians, and still have, to this day, hostages, including American hostages. Israeli and American hostages. Currently, still in fucking tunnels under Gaza. Well, why do you think this started?
Now, this is also being egged on by the Israeli command.
Now, this is the craziest thing of all time, and he says that the protests are secretly egged on by Israel. Israel wants them to protest against Hamas. Whatever. Listen, there's infinite reasons why this is insane bullshit retardation. But there are a couple of nuggets here that I think that we all need to share. We all need to witness this together. I have never seen this level of insanity happening. All right, he always frames himself as a pro-Palestinian guy, and he thinks that, you know, Hamas is doing a good job because, well, babies are valid military targets according to war analyst Hasan Piker over here. So anyway. Anyway, lock in, boys. The retardation is only starting.
Okay. Now, of course, the primary purpose of the protesting.
All right, what is the purpose of the protest? Sorry, he's going to explain to us with his political analysis the primary purpose of the protests against Hamas. What is the primary purpose?
Gaza are not to unseat Hamas in the way that the media is implying in the Western world. It is to.
Right, so when all of them are going out there yelling, Hamas terrorists, Hamas are terrorists, free the hostages, they don't actually mean any of that. It's just 4D chess.
To stop the siege, stop the occupation.
How is protesting in Gaza supposed to stop a siege Like, this makes so little rational sense. It's impressive to me that he even thinks he knows what he's talking about. Like, the fact that he thinks that you have a protest in Gaza fighting against, like, literally protesting Hamas, and he's like, it's not really against Hamas, it's against the war. What? What are we talking about?
But beyond that, are there people who don't like Hamas in Gaza? Of course there are.
Yeah, probably like one or two, right? The terrorists, the Hamas terrorists, it's probably like one or two guys that don't like them. Hasan, I don't know if you realize you are making the pro-Palestine movement look so bad right now. You're saying that most of the Palestinians are actually supporting Hamas, bro? It's pretty fucked up, not gonna lie. It's pretty fucked up. I wouldn't go that far. Whoa, holy shit, that's crazy.
The f do you mean? Of course, no group of individuals are monolithic. I've often talked about the Palestinian sentiment and the reporting coming out of dedicated pollsters that go into Gaza and into the West Bank during even this f***ing genocide and still actively survey the population.
And because he has some pollsters that are polled by people that are welcomed into the territory by the Hamas militants, because of literal propaganda polls, he has come to the conclusion that the massive protests against Hamas are actually secretly against the bombs that are falling into the cities. Like, you literally can't make this shit up. I've never seen cope this hard. By the way, this video is not on his main channel. This was clipped from his stream. He never actually uploaded this, obviously. He doesn't want any form of content on his channel talking about how the Palestinians are against Hamas. But don't worry, guys, because he has some more lore nuggets to drop for us all. The logic isn't logicking. This is one of the most illogical arguments I've ever heard in my life.
No, like, it doesn't matter. To me, Hamas is but a name.
Guys, he's just saying the quiet part out loud. We know he supports terrorists. Hamas is like a vicious terrorist organization. Like, it's unbelievable. What is even going on?
Okay, it's an
Hamas and then the ultra right-wing Israelis. All Palestinians like Hamas. Oh no! Oh, let's go. Horseshoe theory is real. Hasan and all the far-right people think of Palestinians the same way. Let's go, dude.
Name to a movement.
Right, Hamas is the name of a movement
that is choosing to militarily resist against the Israeli.
Murder babies and rape innocent women and murder those women after they're raped. That's what they do. They're fucking monsters in a death cult.
Occupation. You can say all these people are pro-Hamas across the board, but I have no political allegiances beyond the fact that they are the only game in town and they are actively defending.
Defending? What are we talking about? Okay, all right. No, listen, because he's such, this is retardation on another level.
Against Israeli incursions.
Yeah, they're not defending against Israeli incursions, like he is saying. They are, in fact, launching missiles from playgrounds and hospitals so that if Israel strikes back, they can claim that Israel struck playgrounds and hospitals. They use human shields in their fight. This is not a contentious subject. They use human shields according to every single organization in the world. Al Jazeera and the UN agree that they use human shields. This war started because they invaded Israel and murdered innocent people. And this dude, this guy, political analyst extraordinaire, says that Hamas is defending them. Like, what are we even talking? They use zero defense. They don't defend shit. What are we even talking about? The only thing that you could even warp your mind about being a defense strategy is the fact that they're torturing hostages. And that's the most psycho fucked up shit ever, because that's only dragging the war out. They are not known for their defense at all. In fact, they wear civilian clothing. What is happening? That dude is jumping out of his way to defend Hamas terrorists as much as he possibly can. Dude, I told you 350% is gonna be cooking. So I don't cover Hasan drama like anyone else does, because I actually go through the retardation that he spews on political topics too. And yes, people get me in trouble for this on Reddit, but fuck Reddit. This is crazy.
In the Gaza Strip. That's it. It's that simple.
It's that simple. Hamas is just a defense force. You can't even say this with a straight face. You have Palestinians protesting Hamas, and you got Hamas's biggest glazer over here defending Hamas against the Palestinians. What is happening? Oh, that's crazy, man. Every time he opens his mouth, it gets worse.
Just like if the Palestinians came together and had a free and fair election in a future, in a positive future that seems so far away right now, and they all universally voted for Hamas, I'm not going to sit here and be like, that's up. That's it.
It's crazy to me that Hasan argues the far right-wing talking points better than any far right-wing guy. He's like, maybe if all the Palestinians came together to prop up a terrorist organization, I would support them. Well, very good shit, Hasan. This is definitely a good move. Absolutely. You are telling this story in the best possible way. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. But he said it. He literally said it. It's crazy how this happens. Like when I watched this the first time, doing my research on like this these protests and shit, I couldn't believe it. Especially because he's talking about how Hamas is actually the best possible action for Palestine, and how dare the people in Gaza argue against Hamas and shit. You want to know something Hamas did in regards to these protests? Don't worry, I have a few more clips of this retard to show you in a second. But are you ready? Are you ready to see what they did in response to this protest? You're probably thinking, Hamas, they do whatever's best for Gaza, right? Well, turns out they tortured and murdered one of the leaders of the anti-Hamas protests movements in Gaza. He was kidnapped, tortured for 4 hours, and then executed. His body was dumped at the doorstep of his family's home with a chilling message: "This is the price for those who criticize Hamas." Believe it or not, Hasan does not, in fact, cover this. Maybe he'll cover it but before this video comes out. Maybe, I don't know. But in his initial video, he did not actually cover this at all. So when Hasan is saying that, how I can't believe the people in Gaza are protesting against Hamas, that's not really the enemy. It turns out Hamas, the fucking death cult terrorist organization, murdered a guy in the protests, tortured him, and dumped his body on the family's door. Oh yes, this will drum up support. Hamas is a terrorist organization. They're not here looking for the support of the people that they're terrorizing. Hamas is a blight on everyone. They're a blight on Israel, and they are a blight on Gaza as well. They are a terrorist organization. They are unbelievably fucked up. Trigger warning for like the next 10 seconds. If you want to look away, I'm going to show you a pretty graphic image. So trigger warning, look away, whatever you want to say. So but this is what they did to the guy. They left his body like this on the doorstep of his family's home, which is unbelievably fucked up. Like literally ravaged and destroyed. They destroyed this man in any possible way. But this is the person that, shout out to Hasan Piker, this is the person that Hasan is upset that they are protesting against, and says that, no, when they're protesting against Hamas, no, they're not actually protesting against Hamas. No, that's ridiculous. If they're protesting the bombs.
That like and this is something that a lot of people fail to recognize.
All right, he's talking about us people that fail to recognize things. Ready?
With October 7. People attribute October 7 to Hamas. And
what are you saying? Yes, people do attribute October 7th terrorist attack massacre to the terrorists that perpetrated that attack. We're all on the same page here, I presume.
In large part, it was the Hamas militant wing that...
The terrorists. Again, Hasan is such a terrorist glazer, he can't even call terrorists terrorists. He calls them the militant wing. They are terrorist motherfuckers that will all be burning in hell. But yeah, anyway, the militant wing
that participated in the militancy, participated in the kidnapping. Having said that, however,
he doesn't mention the murder or the rape or the torture, just the kidnapping, you know, because they literally kidnapped children and murdered them.
In spite of their much smaller sizes and much smaller influence, every other facet of Palestinian political groups also participated in October 7 in a united front.
Well, guys, I think we have retard of the year. Retard of the year goes to this motherfucker. So he's saying that Hamas isn't so bad, and they're not only protesting against Hamas, because Hamas wasn't the only group of terrorists that invaded Israel and murdered people. It was also plenty of other groups of terrorists too. All right, so Hamas isn't so bad. They did. We're all on the same. We all heard the same words coming out of the same terrorist supporter's mouth. When I say that this dude is 350% cooked, I mean it. We are tabulating the level of cooked. Anything above 100 is just bonus territory. One more time.
Political groups also participated in October 7 in a united front.
Oh.
October 7 wasn't just conducted by Hamas and Islamic Jihad. October 7 was actually conducted by Hamas, Islamic Jihad, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, the Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine, and numerous other even smaller formations.
Okay, so there are lots of terrorists, and they should all get killed now because they're all terrorists? Is that your argument, Mr. Piker? What is even going on? Is he... I mean, I could be wrong here, but it kind of sounds to me like he's defending the terrorists that committed one of the biggest atrocities of recent history. Wow, that's crazy. I couldn't think of that. You see, Hasan, he's a Western Twitch streamer. There's no way he's gonna go out here and support basically one of the most awful events that happened in a long time, right? There's no way he's actually, like, he's defending terrorists, right? But he wouldn't defend the actual terrorists that perpetrate, you know, the October 7th massacre, right? Oh no, he absolutely would. He's defending Hamas by saying, well, other terrorist groups also committed acts of terror, which is a really dumb fucking argument. He's not doing his best propaganda work today. But second of all, what?
There were Fatah members that were also involved on October 7.
And if you look at, like, the actual chat, they're like, hell yeah, baby, all the different groups of terrorists got together. Hell yeah, baby.
So the idea that HTS Andy, calm down. What?
Yeah, and then, you know, people realize, hold up, calm down. You're glazing terrorists a little too much. A little too much. The crazy thing is, he calls me a Nazi. He calls everyone that voted for Trump a Nazi. All right? This dude is actively advocating and, well, snitching on all of his homies over there in the Middle East that are committing acts of terror. Like, this is one of the most unbelievable mask-off moments I think I've ever seen in my life. I've seen some mask-off moments, but this is fucking crazy. This is like actually wild. This is support of the October 7th massacre directly. This is saying that Hamas isn't bad because other terrorists also did that. Like, what is even going on here? Now, he has a couple other nuggets in this video that I wanted to share with you, because to show you how badly he obfuscates this entire situation, you have to understand the full picture of how demented and evil he is, and the way he contorts his words and twists his facts into supporting terrorists, like openly supporting anti-American everything.
I want to know what it looks like for the day-to-day existence of Palestinians being dominated under the cruel rule of the Israeli apartheid. Look,
right, so this is him saying that, well, they're protesting Hamas, but that's not really what they're protesting, because Israel's the real bad guys. That's what Hasan is saying, and he's going to give us an example and give us proof.
No further than the West Bank, where they, as recently as this past week, actually allowed right-wing settlers to go and engage in a lynch mob against...
This didn't happen, by the way.
Against Hamdan Bilal, who was literally sitting right here only a couple weeks prior to that.
Well, you're friends with another one? Damn.
And then went on to win an Oscar for the documentary that he co-directed called No Other Land. The IDF turned around and arrested him. They did.
So he's making it sound like hot take. He is making it sound like this guy made a show and got arrested for making a show.
Detained him. They kidnapped him.
He got kidnapped because he made a show.
It's fucking insane.
All right, is he gonna explain why they kidnapped him? Because what you mean they just kidnapped him because he made a show?
The protest demands.
And that's it. He's on to the next topic. Hell yeah, dude. That's my goat. But anyway, in case you're curious why they kidnapped him, first of all, they did not kidnap him. In case you were curious. Second of all, they actually arrested him because this is Hamdan Bilal, the guy that he's talking about, and this is him throwing rocks at an Israeli shepherd. All right, this is him and his boys throwing stones at an Israeli shepherd. So the Israeli shepherd that was getting rocks thrown at him and ended up getting injured, he called the cops. The cops came and they arrested the guy that not only was then throwing stones at the shepherd, but also threw stones at the cops. So that is why they arrested him. And then, guess what? They ended up actually even letting him go, I'm pretty sure. So, first of all, fucking hell yeah, they arrested him. He was throwing rocks at an innocent guy. Randomly. Alright? Which is crazy. I covered this in slightly more detail, and Hasan Piker is 320% fucked if you want to actually look at all that shit. If you want to see this in greater detail, he keeps obfuscating situations by mentioning other very tangential situations, like really briefly. When he's saying, and the real reason why Hamas isn't the bad guys is because Israel is the bad guys, like because they even kidnapped Hamdan Bilal, who, by the way, was not kidnapped. He was arrested and detained for a bit of time because he was throwing rocks at cops and at innocent random shepherds. All right, that's why the guy was arrested. So now that we have to squash every lie at a time because there's like an unbelievable, unfathomable amount of them. I have one more nugget for this specific topic before we move on to the next thing. Enjoy the final part of Hasan defending the Hamas terrorists over the fucking Palestinian people that are protesting against the Hamas terrorists.
Nonetheless, the protests are a natural right to Gazans who have been through hell on their own for 60 months. Right. No one outside has a right to lecture them.
Right, so Hasan, after this entire time, essentially lecturing the people in Gaza that they're not actually protesting against Hamas. Now Hasan reads some guy's tweet saying, "You should not be lecturing the people of Gaza."
Exactly. And I'm never gonna fucking be I'm never gonna sit here and be like, how dare they protest against Hamas.
He is never gonna say how dare they protest against Hamas. Never. Even though in his heart he knows that the Hamas terrorists are just doing their job. They're trying their best to rape as many women as they can. But he would never tell them not to protest against the terrorists.
If that was the expectation that you had of me, you are fucking delusional.
No, I actually had the opposite expectation because, you're a terrorist supporter, which is why I personally did not have that expectation. But you managed to surpass any expectation I actually had. Like, this was levels above anything I expected. I'm really glad we have people like me in the world that actually is fucking brain rotted enough to cover this guy on a recent enough basis. I urge you to share this video, by the way, with other people. FBI, because to be honest, this I think is crazy. Like, this is such a mask off moment, it's insane, and no one has covered this. No one has covered this.
And I know that there were plenty of people who were waiting for the opportunity to be like, see, Hasan loves Hamas, but
he does, it's true.
Palestinians fucking hate Hamas. That's not the case. It is an infinitely more complicated equation than the one that you present.
True, and I actually presented a much more complicated equation the entire time. Yeah, good job, Hasan. Hasan, I hate to say this to you because I feel like you'll take this in the wrong way, but it turns out when you say that all of the Palestinians are actually supporting the terrorists, you actually kind of make them look worse. I know this is a surprise for anyone in the audience to hear, because, I mean, if you'd be watching Hasan streams, you'd think that Hamas were the fucking good guys, but it turns out actually the rapist, terrorist, pedophile murderers are actually not good people. I know, it's shocking even for me to think about that out loud. Now this is coming like off the heels of Hasan admitting that he's friends with a Hamas terrorist, which is still shocking. I'm gonna play this 12-second clip. I played it and Hasan is 320% fucked, but I have to show you this one specifically.
Israel killed 2 journalists yesterday. One of them,
2 journalists, he claims. He calls them journalists.
Is someone who I frequently talk to get updates. He was a contributor to Al Jazeera. I've talked.
Someone he frequently talks to, right? Let's get this into perspective. This is a guy that he frequently talks to.
Talked about him before. His name is Hasan Shabbat.
All right, let's do some research on Hasan Shabbat. Yeah, it's interesting. According to this fascinating image over here that's put together so nicely by Al Jazeera, it turns out this Hasan Shabbat guy is a sniper for Hamas. Wow, look at that. Wow, Hasan is friends with this guy? That's crazy. In fact, Hassam Shabbat, that same guy that we were just talking about, posted this image on, what's the date? Can any of you make this date out? Oh, it's October 7th. So it turns out that Hassam Shabbat is not just a reporter that was killed, and not just a friend of everyone's favorite leftist political streamer, Hasan Piker, but also literally jumped across the border and murdered innocent people on October 7th. That's the guy that Hasan is friends with. Hasan is friends with someone that partook in the October 7th massacre and is an actual terrorist. So that is Hasan's friend. Now, on to slightly lighter news. All right, we're enough talked about our armchair terrorist Hasan Piker. All right, we've cooked him, I think, explicitly. Now we need to make fun of him for also being a retard, which I think is equally important. Now, this has been covered by other people as well. This is Hasan LARPing as a poor person despite being a communist with a Gucci bag.
And the sergeant says, you won't say shit to them. That's so funny.
Get ready, guys.
You have never... You have not seen me around cops.
Why haven't we seen him around cops? Is it because he's one of the poors and the cops hate the poors?
This is something that I've talked about before, but it's kind of I'll give you a Kingdom Come Deliverance example. If you have high enough
Remember, he makes fun of Asmongold every time he uses video game analogies, by the way.
Ability. If you have high enough charisma and you're wearing noble garb, when the city guards come to you, you can just be very stern with them and they'll say, oh, sorry. Like if you say, huh?
This is why rich British people don't get speeding tickets, according to Hasan.
Oh, who do you think you're talking to? I'm nobility. And then the guys will be like, sorry, sir. I mistook you for someone else. There is in my personal experience,
right.
There has been
he has no fucking experience, by the way. He streams for 12 hours a day. Can we stop making believe he has experience?
An attitude shift in the way that law enforcement treats me from when I was dead ass broke to the situation that to the financial situation I'm in now. So no, you're wrong. Okay?
He's so oppressed. He's one of the most oppressed millionaires I've ever met.
You are rich if you are at least presenting yourself as rich. And if you know...
He's also never been broke. His father is I think he's a billionaire. And his uncle owns one of the biggest leftist media stations in the world. He was never dead ass broke. Literally never.
If you know how to talk, cops are permanent bootlickers because they ultimately know that you're the guy who's paying their salary and that they're conditioned into thinking, oh, well, I have to protect this guy. He's rich. I swear to God. I can't. And also I'm not black or brown presenting. So that's the other side of this where I'm white enough to be able.
White enough, guys. He's white enough to get away with being next to cops.
To get away with it.
Yeah, he's insufferable. Every time I hear from him, he's more and more insufferable than last time. Bro is actually retarded. I think this is a good analysis from Donut Operator, who's an ex-cop, by the way. This is crazy. This is fucking crazy. He's unbelievable. There's so many more, clips just of the last day that I think are so humiliating. I want to share them. None of them are actually good enough to be in their own actual good, None of them are actually good enough to be in their own Hasan as fuck video, but they are definitely humiliating enough that I think they do bear mentioning.
How the fuck you let this happen, man? I really don't.
Alright, so this is Asmongold making fun of Snow White, which was a colossal failure. In case you're unaware, definitely check out Snow White, 400% fucked.
Oh my, Vance to your face, it is.
Yeah. Weird.
That's it? That's the take? He read a couple Reddit comments. Oh my God. 2.4 million views.
He is seething right now. Oh my God, look at him cope.
Dude, how can...
He's so mad that Asmongold got views on his video.
Can you not recognize that this is just... We've devolved as a society, dude. I'm sorry.
He sees Asmongold getting views on a fucking YouTube video, and he's like...
I'm sorry. But come on, dude. is a 2-minute clip, him just reading one Reddit comment bar for bar, and then basically being like, look at how ugly she is. Yeah.
He never said that.
Look at her weird, ugly face.
You know, do people get?
I have, as a matter of fact.
Wait, where's
what you're
the
talking-
where's the Asmon clip? I skipped it. I lost it.
The irony is Hasan does the exact same content. Like, he just reacts to shit.
Yeah,
too.
she's got an awkward face. Me, on the other hand, beacon of physical perfection, chat. Right? It's fucking awesome.
He's so jealous. It's amazing.
He did 24 minutes on it. 1.6 million views.
He's so jealous. He's so jealous, dude. Oh, no. Oh, God. That's amazing. Holy shit. That's awesome.
At least he put a different shirt on. He's not wearing the
dude.
same fucking crusty ass white t-shirt with spit stains on it.
Nice. Let's insult his clothes because, well, you can't insult his views. He's fucking destroying you. Oh my God, what an unbelievable jealous loser. Now, but don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. He has a lot of hot takes. So Aiden Ross, a Jew, was recently unbanned on Twitch. You know, which is a shock. It's always a shock when Twitch unbans a Jew. This is always news to us. However, there is fantastic news. Hasan is fighting for the little people.
You not think this was gonna happen? You act like there isn't a rightward shift. No, I see that. No, I do see that.
Right.
Look, people will say, Hasan, you're biased. Hasan, you're woke. Hasan, you're gay.
Hasan, you hate Jews.
Whatever.
You know, stuff like that.
The fuck, okay? I just don't want other content creators to get fucking destroyed.
He doesn't want Aiden Ross on Twitch because he doesn't want content creators getting destroyed. Says the guy who supports terrorists and supports the platform that banned all of Israel for a year. Twitch did that. I've covered that already on this glorious franchise.
By this kind of toxic behavior. Okay? That's it. Like, even beyond...
I think that the Jew should stay banned because actually he causes toxicity and bad behavior, says the guy that supports terrorists.
Beyond the Adolf Hitler associations, okay?
Aiden Ross is he's just too many Adolf Hitler associations, you know, guys.
I think outside of like being woke, there's an environment of toxicity associated with these guys that are like serial harassers, serial doxers, incredibly toxic. Right. And it completely rips apart the remaining semblance of community that Twitch has had, as opposed to other platforms like YouTube.
He just wants Twitch to ban all right-wing creators. He doesn't want to say it out loud, but that's literally what he's saying every single time. He literally does not stop.
The Aiden Ross community was huge, but has also changed as people like the FaZe Boys have grown, as they all came from the same community, but they have different viewers and stances now. It's whether Aiden wants to entertain a Jason viewer or just edgy bullshit. Yeah, that's what I worry about, though, because it's so alluring to be edgy, because it's like the most like bottom of the barrel content. It's so hacky.
So that's why he's what? It's hacky. It's hacky to be edgy. It's bottom of the barrel, hacky, edgy content. It's just that's why this is happening. It's because of all the edgelords. All the edgelords are so hacky. Yeah. Well, nothing edgy about calling a terrorist Luffy, I guess.
You have two directions that you can go in. You can be a positive force and try not to be like as racist as you once were, or you can just be unshackled and unrestricted and be as fucking racist as possible.
Yeah, let's be unracist, guys. Let's be unracist, unless Jews are getting murdered, in which case, whatever. Whatever. Am I right, guys? Am I right? So, another thing Hasan did is he had Elon Musk's kid on his stream, purely to spite Elon Musk, which, by the way, I do think is a pretty banger move, right? He's beefing with Elon Musk, so therefore he gets Elon Musk's kid to join him on stream so that they can make fun of Elon together. I think it's a pretty crazy move. The funny thing is, it's literally just two people in a Discord call talking about unbelievable daddy issues that they have. It's creepy. It's incredibly creepy, but it's absolutely a wild move. Now, I personally think this is great because I think the more Hasan annoys Elon Musk, the better for me. And the more likely Elon Musk will actually go fucking crazy, ape shit, and fucking buy Twitch to ban Hasan or some shit. Isn't it inappropriate? Well, yeah, it's wildly. I think it's a very below the belt move, but I still, I commend him on his vile nature. All right, I commend him on actually going that extra mile to do something this below the belt. Someone says, hey, Hasan, you're a piece of shit for taking money from a shitty video game. And Hasan is like, oh yeah? Well, I'm gonna take your estranged child and make fun of you in front of tens of thousands of people. Anyway, it's pretty wild. But I do have to say, when you actually watch their conversations, it absolutely sounds like just two people with daddy issues coping.
How did you know, what was the transition for your dad going from like somewhat of a liberal darling? I was never a fan, for the record, because he's a billionaire.
I was never a fan. He was a billionaire. All billionaires are evil. The Hasan move.
I agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that.
This is not something you agree on. I fucking know him. He was never on the left.
No. I'm. He was presented as he was presented as a liberal darling.
It's so
is
sad.
What I meant.
Because a marketing theme.
Yeah, I think that it was always bullshit, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
it works enough for this bitch named Boy in a Band to make a video called "This Man is Literally Saving the World," and I watched that as a 10-year-old and wanted to punch him in the face.
I know exactly what you're talking.
This is like an actual cringe party. I'm gonna tie it off here. You can feel free to check out his entire hour-and-a-half interview of two incredibly awkward people basically coming together to talk about their daddy issues. It's pretty great. It's therapy if you're a retard. But the best part is, I have to say, the fact that this is probably pissing Elon Musk off, which hopefully will drive him to some sort of extreme and be like, hey, Cash Patel, there's this fucking crazy guy on Twitch. He keeps supporting terrorists. What's up with that? I don't know. It could be fun. It could be interesting. So this guy Yeet is the account on Twitter that's been kind of posting a lot of these cringe Hasan clips. So of course Hasan does the greatest thing ever, and he blocks Yeet on Twitter. Truly an alpha maneuver. Thank you for being here. Definitely subscribe. Hell yeah. I accidentally hit the angry face toggle. I never use it because I'm not angry. I'm never angry, actually. I am one of the least angry people any of you have ever met. Even when Hasan sends his supporters to tell me that they're happy that Hamas murdered family members of mine, which is pretty based of Hasan. Honestly, it's like one of those cool moves that we appreciate immensely. But anywho, definitely subscribe, lock in. I'll see you in the next one. 350% fucked. That's where he's currently standing. Again, I don't plan on actually making Hasan videos. It's not like I wake up and I'm like, all right, let's figure out what Hasan did. Hasan calls to me. He puts the fucking clown makeup on himself, and then I have to laugh at him. It's literally my duty. It's my duty to laugh at the retard. Did he ban you, or did he ban this account? Oh no, he banned this account. He actually follows me on Twitter, which is kind of wild. Whatever. No one's perfect, I guess. Not even me. Apparently, Hasan convinces Elon's kid to say that Tesla's a Ponzi scheme.
Oh wow, he's made another company that is single-handedly pushing humanity towards
Don't you always?
Oh my god, not colonizing Mars. That's not happening, people. It's a marketing scheme.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it would take to colonize Mars? Do you know how long it would take to terraform that thing? It's a marketing scheme that everyone somehow falls for. This is my native language, I promise. That everyone somehow fell for, despite being like debunked by a Google search. Like, are you serious?
No, I do think that we are progressively getting dumber and dumber as a society. It's one of the things that I yell about quite a bit. But this was, I mean, you're nailing a lot of the reasons why I was always initially annoyed with Elon Musk.
Oh, yes. He's retroactively annoyed at Elon.
Jump because of all of this stuff where it was like, this is not happening.
happening.
Like, I remember having these conversations with like the donut media guys who were like car guys, right? And I was like, on paper, I'm supposed to love this person because like this is supposed to be like a green energy focused person,
Right?
Who, but he's not exactly. I'm saying like on paper, he's supposed to be like leading the charge on renewable energy and electric vehicles.
Why is he bumbling so hard? Can he not put a sentence together?
And yet, you know, he's such a fucking douchebag.
10 years? 10 years that facade worked? God.
Yeah.
No, more
but
than
I
that.
mean, okay, so but all of these lies though, it still seems to work because I mean, this is the first time I've ever experienced like I've expected, and people who understand the market a lot better than me have thought that like, oh, well, you know, we should short Tesla. It's inevitably going to
look up E ratio and then look at Tesla stock compared to other car companies.
Yeah, no, exactly, because it's not a car company, it's a tech company, right? It's just like a silly
it's not a car company, it's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Is that what they call defamation? Ooh, uh-oh. Is that what they call defamation in the United States of America? I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, that's Hasan Piker, our dude, our guy. Thank you for being here. 350% fucked. See you in the next one. Share it around. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.